So we are now ready for the 7th board. We planed 2 boards completely, and we found out that we were clogging up the planer with the paint. So we've gone to sanding them off with 40 grit paint, with 40 grit sandpaper. You can see right here, and it does a pretty good job. This is the 3 boards that I've done this morning. I did 2 boards yesterday, so it's primarily this side right here. This is what the bottom side looks like. It's not too bad, but the top has got this thick overdecking material on it that just takes a while to come off. So after we do this, if we complete the sanding on all of these, we'll be able to put them through the planer. This is what it looks like after I've just started to sand it. Now I'm going against the grain, I'm going right over, and that makes it kind of levels it out. And I think it also is a little bit more effective at disrupting the paint structure. So I'll continue on with this and show you what it looks like as I... Alright, this is what it looks like after about another 30 seconds. You can see that most of it's gone. At this point, I might start switching over to going parallel. And this is after about another 45 seconds, so I've pretty much got it all off there. So this is what we just do, go all the way down. It takes, maybe to do a whole surface of a board to remove this, it takes in the range of maybe around 15 to 30 minutes at the most, maybe even 12 to 24 minutes, I don't know, depends about my technique and everything, but this is what I need. Now I've finished going all the way up the board. You can see here the dust that's been like kicked out. I've gone up the board mostly across the grain. I did leave some sections back here, and once again this was done parallel to the grain right here, but it does appear that going across the grain really eats in there. Of course it does kick a lot more dust out rather than, it doesn't seem to get sucked into the vacuum, but it's more efficient. This probably, I don't know, maybe it couldn't be more than 10 minutes, and it's taken me to come all the way up here. Alright, now I've finished this board here. Probably, it couldn't have taken me more than 15 minutes to do this whole board. This is the piece that I just finished all the way. Done it cross and parallel. 15 to 20 minutes at the absolute most. Now, this is another board tipped over, and you can see it doesn't have the thick coating on it. It hasn't been coated, but it has some residue on it. I don't know if that's true, if this is resins that have come out. You can see here it was sitting on the joists where it's dark. These are the nail holes into the joists. So I'm not sure what that all is, what extent it's wood rot versus the resins. Of course, redwood has tannins in it coming out. But I've gone ahead and sanded off a portion of this up here going parallel, so you can see what's left on here. This doesn't take too long to sand, so I'm going to go ahead and do all those. I also sanded the edge of this last board that I did, so you can see what that looks like on the edge. I'm taking off a portion of that top there on each edge. So I've got 8 edges to do and another 4 bottoms, and then I'll be done. Alright, so we've got this this piece completely done on the bottom side. This is board number 3. I just labeled them from 1 to 8 in terms of how I originally put them up on the table. So I'm ready to do the sides now on this, and the edges. This probably only took 5, maybe 7 minutes to do this whole piece here on the top, on the... Alright, so it took a few minutes, but we got this number 3 board right here. We've got the bulk of this residue off. You can see, like, right here, this is some of the deck coat that was on there on this one, and I had to remove some of that here. You can see here that where I've gone cross grain. I didn't remove much stock there, but other spots I did. But it's ready for the planer, I think. Here's a good look at the other side of the number 3 board before I'm starting. And you can see, once again here, this residue that's in here. It's dripped down when they coated the top with the deck coat. So that will come right off with the sander. Now you can see I've finished the opposite side, the opposite edge here on board number 3, and you can see how I've gone against the grain, going down there to try to flatten it out and top off, remove the edge where the paint was, where the overdecking was. Now on next step, I'll go through this whole thing parallel one time. Alright, so that only took a minute or so, and you can see that on the edges, those cross scratches going against the grain are still there, but I removed a good part of them, and the planer will take care of the rest of it. This board is now ready to go to be... This is board number 1, and I just wanted to show you what these sides look like. Quite a bit of grind and stuff on here. Really thick. Not so much paint. The other side had a fair amount of paint, actually more. Not like that, but this is really grimy and gritty. Black. I don't know what it is. This right here is board number 4 after it has been planed on each side. Over here, I believe this is board number 2, which has not been planed. You can see how evident the bottom marks are. This is where the joist boards were. And over here, on this one that's been planed, this is where the joist marks are, and you can see they've diminished in intensity, but it's a very fine, smooth. This is a bit rougher, and you can see the grain patterns. If you look closely, you can see the grain patterns where the sandpaper roughed it up, but not so over here. This shows how I got the screws lined up. In here we got them, the holes drilled through the top board, countersunk, got the deck screws in place, and after we finish putting these all in, then we'll put on the 3X polyurethane adhesive. Okay, so this is the first one that I'm putting in. So I'm using clamps. I put the glue on, the adhesive on, all over it, and you can see it starting to come out there and here and maybe other places, I'm not sure. But you can see there it is down there. So I've got them secured down here with these clamps, and now I'm going to screw the rest of them in. Alright, this is what it looks like after I got them in. I'm getting them down just a little bit below the surface. So this is our 5th spacer board, last one. Got them all in after this, and it's worked out pretty well. The rain is held off, although I've got boards up here protecting it. But it's looking pretty good. I'll go ahead and screw these last ones in, and then we'll be done.